What's up, guys? My name is Jaleesa. I go by Jaleesa Ray on social media. If you are joining this free webinar today, my guess is that you are either getting ready to launch your online coaching business or you are in the beginning stages of starting and you're seeking guidance. Either way, I welcome you. I cannot wait to provide you with all of the information that I have learned over the years and the simple steps and tools that help me gain success in this world of growing entrepreneurship. So we're going to dive in a couple minutes, but real quick, I want to tell you my story and a little bit about me. So I am a mother. I'm also a wife. I've been married for about 3.5 years to my best friend, and we have our beautiful baby girl. My education is a little bit all over the place, but I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's degree in social work. I am currently a licensed social worker in my state. I love being able to help others in all aspects of their lives. I've always had a passion for fitness and coaching, and even as early as my undergrad years, I was helping family and friends, you name it, with all of their fitness goals and wellness goals. I was the go-to person. I always knew I wanted to get my personal training certification, but it was just never a good time with always being in school, so I never pursued it. I always just left it on the back burner, even though it was something that I am so passionate about. After I completed my master's program and started working as a licensed social worker, I still felt this void, like I wasn't fulfilling God's plan for my life, and so I started doing some self-reflection. I started thinking about all of the ways that I can share my passion of helping others and circled back around to personal training. So I started my online coaching business after I got my certification through NASM. And when I say I started, I mean, I told everyone that I was doing this. I didn't have a single client, honestly, guys, and I did not know what I was doing. I started doing research about the tools, the apps, and the information that is out there, but it is so overwhelming. If you've looked into any of it, I guarantee you were overwhelmed at some point. I tried funnels, and while funnels can work at certain points, you need to know everything that I'm going to teach you today and build the foundation of your business before you go spending money on funnels and Facebook ads. I also tried a business coach with no success, and the reason for that is I already knew everything that the business coach was telling me. I just wasn't implementing it. So until I actually started implementing things and taking responsibility for my success, I had not seen any success. So I tried everything except doing things the old-fashioned way. So now my goal is to give back, to concisely provide all of the information and direction that I did not have as a brand new coach in efforts of sparing you the long hours of research and a launch that completely flops. So let's dive in. During today's webinar, you will learn how to let go of the fear that has been crippling you and holding you back. We're going to identify your ideal client and audience, how to produce valuable content that your audience and your clients, your ideal client wants to read and engage in, how to engage with your ideal audience. We're going to talk about your signature program and product, setting up calls and sales, knowing your numbers for your business, and how you can upscale your business even more. So I suggest you get a pen, get some paper, and stick around to the end because I have a special surprise for you as well. But after this webinar today, you're going to be ready to let go of your fears and take action in building that dream business of yours. You're going to have a clear vision for your business and the audience that you're trying to reach. You'll know exactly what tools to use and how to market yourself and exactly what type of program you want to offer. You'll know how many clients you need to enroll each month to replace that outside income. So if you've been working at a job, a 9 to 5, 11 to 7, whatever shift you're working, and you've been trying to find ways to leave and pursue your passion, after this webinar, you're going to have the good foundation that you need to be able to think about doing that. First things first, we need to tackle these fears. We're just going to put them all out there for you and discuss them one by one. The biggest thing that I overhear is this idea of this oversaturation in the market right now. Everyone is in the fitness industry. Everyone wants to be a wellness coach or a fitness coach. You're right. It's completely oversaturated. Here's the thing, and here's the thing that we forget about and people get hung up on. No one is you. No one has the story that you have, the knowledge that you have. No one has the personality and the expertise that you have. Your story is unique, period. My story is unique. We're all unique individuals. We could offer the exact same program, the exact same product to a client, and they could choose to work with you over me because your story and how much they resonate with you. So forget the oversaturated market. Let's move on to knowledge and expertise. Another big concern that I hear entrepreneurs and coaches have is this question about, do I know everything that I need to know? Do I know enough? And the answer is simple. No, you don't. And that is completely okay. You are going to learn things throughout this process and throughout your business that you didn't know before. I still learn things from clients every day. And when I don't know something, it provides the perfect opportunity to teach myself something new. We will never have all of the answers. We're learning every day. So what will people think? You out yourself as an online coach, you've put it out there for everyone, and people are going to have comments and thoughts about it. Some will be positive and some will be supportive. Some will not, and people will question it. Not everyone understands your passion and why you're doing what you're doing, and that is something that you have to keep in the forefront at all times. So the next one is, what if you fail? What if you try something and it doesn't work out quite like you had planned? If you don't try and you don't fail, how will you know exactly what works for you and for your clients? You don't until you try. And lastly, the overwhelm. Oh, the overwhelm is so real. There is so much information out there. It is exhausting trying to sort through it all, and you don't know what programs to use, how to do this and how to do that. I know. I've been there. I've done it. I've sorted through so much. That is why I created this webinar. I wanted to concisely put all of this information together and give you an idea of where to even go to start and build your foundation for your business. So one of the first things that I'm going to ask you to do here is really figure out who it is that you want to work with. And I'm not just talking about men or women. I want you to really get specific. For example, when I first set out to be a coach, I simply stated that I wanted to work with women. Then I started to get really specific and narrow things down. I began focusing on moms. Then I narrowed it down even more to busy moms. But really, what mom is not busy? So I narrowed it down even more to working moms and began targeting working moms. Being a busy mom myself, I know that some of the biggest problems that busy moms face in regards to fitness and nutrition is time to go to the gym, making themselves a priority, and purpose. We become zombies as mothers, and sometimes not even as mothers. We go through each day alive, but we're not really living. I know, cliche. And so I set out to help busy working moms regain self-confidence and rediscover their sense of purpose through fitness. So not only am I helping moms with their fitness goals despite being super busy, but I am giving them personal development tips and assignments, if you will, to help them rediscover who they are now as a mother and professional. I also focus significantly on mental health in my posts, and this catches a lot of attention from women, but mothers specifically. So I want you to get really specific. Who do you want to work with? What is their pain point? What would they pay money to have resolved, and how can you solve it? Your content, another important part. One of the things that you will need to focus on is your social media posts. So now that you know exactly who you want to work with, you know what kind of content to produce. I would say about 90% of your content should be surrounding your ideal client and their pain point. What this does, it shows your ideal client that you get it, that you know exactly what they are dealing with. It shows them that you know how to solve their problems. As humans, we are constantly looking for connection. So each time you are posting on social media, I want you to think about the content or captions that you are writing and ask yourself the following questions. Does this solve my client's problem? Will this resonate with any of my current followers or attract new followers? And does this show I know exactly what my ideal client is going through? If it doesn't, why are you posting it? The thing is, you can completely market yourself and sell your services without being salesy. You do it through your message. So be clear on what your message is. What are you trying to resolve, and who do you want to work with? You also want to be clear on your content when creating programs. For example, I mentioned already that I set out to work with busy moms. So when I'm creating my programs, I know the workouts that I prescribe need to be short and effective because moms just do not have the luxury of time. I also know that so many moms out there struggle with confidence and purpose. So I incorporate personal development as part of my programs. So as you can see here, I have 3 pictures of content that I have posted on social media. All of these are clean pictures, they're crisp, they're aesthetically pleasing. So as you are posting things on social media, you want to make sure that you are using, they don't have to be professional images, but images that you can fix and make pretty and make them pleasing to the eye. There are tons of presets out there that you can purchase and download that take the guesswork out of lighting and saturation and all of the other professional photographer crap that half of us don't understand. You want to make sure that your content in your programs is also pleasing. So there are programs for that. As far as presets, I would suggest the Haley Moeller presets or the Alexa Jean Brown presets. Those are both really good. You can purchase and download and use those really easily. As far as programs for creating content and PDFs and other images, Canva is really amazing for creating those and social media posts and pretty much everything. I even created a logo on there. So Canva is canva.com. So now that you know who you want to work with, you are understanding the content that you are providing that is of value to your followers and your audience. You need to know how to engage with these people. We'll start with social media posts. So when you're posting things on social media, especially things of value, you are going to start getting engagement on your posts. When people are commenting or liking your posts, engage with them. If someone comments on your post, respond to it, and not just with a simple emoji. Actually create conversation. Let your followers know and your audience know that you get it, you understand, you're dealing with the same thing. Help them resonate with you. Build your following. One of the other things that you can do is join an engagement group or an engagement pod. This is usually seen on Instagram, but what you would do is find a group of people in your niche and create a group message for all of you. And every time you create a post on social media or on Instagram, you notify the members of your group. They go and like and comment on your post. And of course, then you want to interact with them as well. So what this does is gets you more likes and more comments on your posts, which gives you a greater chance of landing on the Explore page in Instagram and getting in front of the eyeballs of people who are not already following you, which essentially then could help grow your following. So one of the other things that I suggest doing on Instagram and even on Facebook is sending messages and building relationships with people, because you never know what people are going to turn into clients at some point. There may be people who are engaging with your posts and are following you, but are not quite ready to commit. So start building those relationships early on. If someone likes your post but doesn't comment, send them a message. Thank them for the interaction on your post, even if it was just a like. Start building those connections now. All right, so we've identified your ideal client, we've identified content and how you want to produce content, we've talked about engagement. So now that we've talked about all of that, you're going to start to engage with your audience. You're going to learn a lot about them. You're going to begin to truly understand what it is that they need, thus making it easier to determine your products and your programs. One of the things that you'll want to start thinking about is whether or not you want to offer individual or group coaching. I personally have done both individual and group, and I have enjoyed them both. But after I had my daughter, I realized that the time and effort for one-on-one coaching just was not feasible for me. Group coaching allowed me to reach a larger audience, and check-ins were much less frequent. You also want to determine your timeline. Are your services going to be offered over a 4-week time period, a 6-week time period, 12 weeks, or anything in between? You also want to learn to be flexible. You may want your program to be over 6 weeks, but your client may only want to commit to 4. Are you going to be willing to adjust that timeline for the client? And you'll also want to know how you're going to provide these services. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the next slide, but there are some tools out there like Trainerize and My PT Hub where you can provide the workouts, deliver them right to your client's smartphone with video demonstration. If you don't like the video demonstrations that are in the apps, you can easily create your own and upload them in there. They're really cool programs. There are usually fees for those, but they are great services and great apps that you can use. And trust me, they make things so much easier. The other thing that you want to consider, and I don't necessarily have this on the slide, is whether or not you want to offer a live service or an evergreen service. So what we're talking about here, individual and group coaching, those are live services. They're in real time. You're delivering things to your clients in real time, whereas an evergreen product would be like my 4-week full body guide that I have here on the right. This is something that already has workouts pre-done. There's cardio recommendations, macronutrient information, all inside this guide, and it's available for purchase on my website, and it's evergreen. So someone can buy it at any point, run through the 4 weeks, they can reuse it as many times, but it can be bought whenever, and there's really no contact or interaction with me as the coach. The only downside to this is there isn't as much personalization as there is with live coaching. All right, so now that you know what kind of service that you're going to provide, you need to know how to deliver the service. So we've talked about the apps already. So if you're not going to use an app, you need to know how you're going to deliver the service or the program. Are you going to create a PDF and deliver it by email? Are you going to meet with a person in person? More than likely, that's not going to be the case if you're pursuing online fitness coaching, but I want to make sure that we're addressing all options here. So you need to figure out how you want to deliver your service. Next two things I would suggest is having some sort of disclaimer and privacy notice. The disclaimer protects you, the privacy protects the client. As far as a disclaimer is concerned, you're going to be working with people who you probably have never met before in your life, so you have no idea what their medical history would be like. So a disclaimer would be something that a client either signs or just an acknowledgement that they understand that they are beginning this program at their own risk, that they have consulted with their physician and that they have the approval of their physician, depending on how much detail you want to get into with it, but a disclaimer protects you. The privacy notice would protect the client. So anything that they send to you as far as images, measurements, just any progress or check-ins, that information should be kept confidential. The fact that they're even working with you must be kept confidential unless you have approval and that person tells you, sure, go ahead and share my information on social media, share my transformation. Some people are okay with that. Some people would prefer to keep that stuff private. So the privacy notice protects your client. The last thing with delivering your services is you want to know what additional tools and resources you are going to provide for them. So the main product would probably be your fitness program, the workouts, right? So I mentioned earlier that when I'm providing services to my clients, I focus a lot on mental health and personal development. So I also have a PDF that I deliver to my clients either via email or via the apps, and that helps them work on their own personal development over the time of the program. If you want to provide information regarding nutrition, if you have that specialty as well, or anything regarding calculating macronutrients, those are other things that you want to consider as far as what tools and resources you're providing to your clients. All of this is also going to help you figure out how you're going to price your services down the line. So now you know how to engage with clients, you know who you're actually targeting, what kind of program you're offering. You're obviously going to want to have some kind of sales process in place. So you want to be able to identify calls and messages that lead to sales. Remember, as you're engaging with your audience and sending messages and talking with people, you want to find out what their goals are. What have they been trying to accomplish over time and have had little success, and how are you going to help them? When people are somewhat interested in starting a new service, you will know, you'll have an idea in their wording and the way they're talking to you as to whether or not they're interested in actually setting up some sort of sales call. If they are being kind of vague and not really all that interested, you'll know that through their conversation. I think right now there's a huge push towards getting people on calls to close a sale, but I think that we need to understand that today's generation just may not be into this. They text, they message, they don't talk on the phone as much. So when able, I do strongly suggest that you get them on the phone because sometimes this makes it easier to let your personality shine through. But phone calls can be scary and they can scare people away. So if you get a sense that they prefer text or DM, go with this. Continue to build that relationship. Don't push something on them that they do not want. You're going to scare them away. So you want to be able to convert your audience into believers. So again, just making sure that you are showing that you understand where they're coming from and what their pain points are, and that you can provide a resolution to that pain point, and then continue to engage with them. Get them through a message, talk to them through a message, get them on a phone call if they're willing. Text them if that makes them feel a little bit better about things. Ultimately, you want to try to get them to the point of a sale or to commitment. Once you get them to that point, there are going to be ways of accepting a payment. And of course, you want to know this ahead of time before you get someone on a phone call and you have no idea how to accept a payment from them. So your options here, you have PayPal, Venmo, and Stripe. There may be a couple more, but I would suggest starting with these three. PayPal and Stripe are very easy to use. You would just send an invoice. And if you haven't done this before, again, this is something that is very simple, especially on PayPal, very simple to do. If you're choosing to use an app like Trainerize, you can request payment through the actual app. It has a payment option, which is really cool. It takes the guesswork out of things. And lastly, you need to determine if you're going to allow payments. For some people, they're not able to commit to $1,000 for 12 weeks up front, but they might be able to commit to like $335 a month. So just being aware if you're going to accept payments and what that looks like for you, how you want to go ahead. Is that going to be the client's responsibility to pay you at the beginning of the next 4 weeks of service, or are you going to send an invoice or prompt that? So make sure that that discussion is had up front and you're very clear of what the expectations are, so that you don't have to have that weird and awkward conversation down the line. All right, so now that we've determined everything else about your business, you need to know your numbers. So I mentioned earlier at the very beginning of this webinar that you need to know your numbers, not only for business purposes, but also because if you want to be able to eventually walk away from your full-time job or part-time job or whatever else you have going on, you want to have number goals in place that you're working towards. Because here's the thing, if you're serious about your business, I mean, really serious, you need to be willing to come up with some numbers. Otherwise, you start your coaching business and you take it at its own pace and allow yourself to skimp on by without really putting in serious effort to reach a financial goal. This eventually leads to it just being a side hustle, that's being done in air quotes, and never a full-on respected business. So what do you want your monthly sales to be? Depending on the price of your program, how many clients does this mean each month? And how many hours are you willing to commit to your business each week? You definitely want to sit down and spend some serious time figuring all of this out so you know what your time frame looks like. Set goals. In 3 months, what do you want your sales to be? In 6 months, how many clients do you want to have recurring on a monthly basis? So give yourself some time to sit down and think about this. So we've covered all of this information. What do you do now? Where do you go from here? Now that you have this wealth of information, start implementing. You also have a major opportunity in front of you. I am officially opening the doors to the Coaching Academy on November 1st, and you get an amazing discount for participating in this webinar. Here's the thing. No one else is teaching the foundations about coaching anymore. Everyone wants you to put tons of money into Facebook ads and create a sales funnel without actually teaching you foundational things and how to brand yourself first. This is why people fail with funnels initially. So no more wasting money on funnels. No more talking to business coaches who are charging $3,000 and $4,000 a pop, and no more considering courses that are thousands of dollars. You guys are getting an amazing discounted price on the Coaching Academy that is filled with knowledge and worksheets that are giving you tons of strategies to build your dream business of online coaching. All you have to do is click on the words, the Coaching Academy, follow the link, and use the code WEBINAR to purchase, and you are pre-registered for the course. It officially launches on November 1st, but you only have the code WEBINAR that lasts until Sunday. So here is a sneak peek of what is being offered in the Coaching Academy. We dive deep into your why. Why are you pursuing the career that you are? We identify your ideal audience, but we dig deeper into this. I provide you with worksheets. We talk about social media growth, engaging with your clients. We talk about your program and work on building it, delivering your services, pricing your services. We talk about calls and sales, accepting payments, and how to move forward, how to get over that first hump of building your business. So again, click on this logo here, the Coaching Academy. That'll take you right to the link to purchase the program. Make sure to use the code WEBINAR, but get signed up as soon as possible. There are limited spots available, and that code for a huge discount on the course is only good until Sunday. So make sure you get in there and get pre-registered as soon as possible. So now, go forth and prosper, my friends. Follow me on social media if you're not doing so already, at Jaleesa Ray. Let me know what you found most helpful about this webinar. Send me a DM. Let me know if you are struggling and with what. Let me know of any coaching wins you have. I love to hear from people. You guys, it's been real. It's been great. Thank you for joining me today. I cannot wait to see what all you guys accomplish.